Hello everybody, welcome back. You're watching VegasDtech. I'm Joey, this is Maria.
Hi folks, welcome back.
All right guys, so we're out here at Lake Mead today guys. We're at the bottom of the tourist center at the staging area where everybody comes together to get on their e-bikes, bicycles, mountain bikes, whatever, and go out to these trails. And I call this the street hookup, where if you want to take the path to go out towards the tunnels, you've got the staging area that starts right here. And then if you want to take another bike path to go out towards Boulder City, we have infrastructure that takes you out that way. And if you want to go out to Lake Mead, you can go out this way. Today, guys, we're going to be doing an actual scooter review for you. We're going to be taking a look at the Arvala M10 Pro, and this is what it looks like. Now, behind the scenes, me and Maria, we normally like to park the vehicle here at the bottom staging area, and then we just jump on the scooters and e-bikes. I call them REVs because I went ahead and punched into Google EV, which you know is electric vehicle, and then I typed in RV, which you know is a recreation vehicle. I typed in REV, which is what I'm terming, because I don't see any abbreviations for REV. That would be recreational electric vehicle. And I believe out here, guys, the weather is getting good. March 9th officially starts spring, and the weather is going to be absolutely perfect if you guys want to be able to come out to Lake Mead and enjoy some of this infrastructure that's out here. We have bike trails, we have paved paths, we have actual gravel trails, we have dirt paths. So if you want to come out here, guys, and enjoy that, you don't necessarily want to drive your vehicle and you want to come out and hike it and bike it, maybe this scooter right here is something that might fit your fancy. It is portable. It fits in a vehicle like this size right here, very light, and it has decent range. Arvala is claiming that there's 50-mile range on it. We're going to actually test that today and see if it can do that. But we're going to get to features and specs a little bit later on down the road. Let's go ahead and get started and head on down this way towards Lake Mead. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and be starting this thing. We're going to be on the Arvala M10 scooter. And this thing here is rated for 50-mile range. And I just thought it would be a great idea. The whole point of us getting these utility vehicles right here is we wanted to be able to cruise around Lake Mead and not necessarily have to use the car, because the car can't get to every single spot. So the Arvala M10 Pro, guys, weighs in at about 60 pounds and can hold a load capacity of 256 pounds. I'm about 212 to 220, depending how many times I hit Burger King in a week. This scooter here has tons of torque, and that's the one thing that you need to consider when you are considering purchasing a stand-up scooter like this. Some people tell me that they have problems with their back, and sitting down, it hurts their back, and they would rather be standing. And something like this right here would be perfect for you, because you could pretty much stand and stop and get on and off this thing really fast and really quick. So anyways, we're over here about to enter the Lake Mead Center, and normally you would go through this toll booth. I just went up there and asked the park services, do you got to pay to come through here if you're on bikes and scooters? And she said, if you're down on the path like that, I'm not going to chase you. This thing has a trigger type shifter that uses your right hand. You pull down on the trigger, and this is going to be your accelerator right here. And then right below that, you're going to have your brakes. This scooter comes with hydraulic brakes. So the tires on the M10 here, guys, are 3-inch wide. They're street rated tires, but they have very, very good tread. Now, while you're out here along the paths of Lake Mead here, you're gonna, sometimes you're gonna want to go off here into like gravel, or you're gonna be on the paved area, or you might want to go on a path. These tires are gonna have the ability for you to ride either way and not worry about it. I prefer this type of a tread because you have actually more meat that's protecting the tire from thorns and, those goat head thorns, devil's popcorn, glass, and whatever you have debris-wise on the side of the road. So I prefer these tires. Right now, we're just, cruising a normal, steady speed of about 12 miles an hour. And you know what? If you're rolling at about 12 to 15 miles an hour, which is like the speed that Maria likes to cruise at, she doesn't like to go very fast. If you're riding this scooter at this speed right here, I foresee you will get a good 40 miles per range on just one charge. And the whole thing about this M10 Pro is that when you go and select the scooter, you want to make sure that you're not getting one of those, you know, personal transportation things that you rent when you go to California and you're in like San Diego or San Francisco. Those things just won't cut it out here. Out here, you're gonna need to have some power. See how we're going down right now? The grade looks like it's going down. If coming down will be fine on one of those type of scooters, but coming back, you're not going to be able to come up this thing with any kind of speed. See guys, I'm in power level number 2 right now, and this is just fine because if you really want to see the scenery, you don't need to go, you know, this thing is rated for 37 miles per hour top speed, but Maria's bike is only rated for 28 miles per hour, so this scooter could easily overtake her, but we're not going to do that because the cruising speed out here that you can actually enjoy the view and get this fresh air, it's probably going to be anywhere between 15 and 20, and we're happy with doing that. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the specs of this Arvala M10 Pro. First of all, we have two 1,000 watt motors, front and rear. So you're going to get a full 2,000 watts of power out of this scooter. The battery on the M10 Pro is going to be a 52 volt, 20.8 amp hour battery that boasts 50 miles of range. And that's all going to depend on your weight, you know, the terrain that you're actually in and how fast you're pushing the bike. The top speed on this Arvala M10 Pro is going to be 37 miles per hour, but I have, on a completely straight level path, I have gotten it to 40 miles per hour. So it can go faster, and like I said, it varies on your weight. It does come with hydraulic brakes. And as you can see, if we come back down here to the bottom, rotors with the hydraulic brakes made by Zoom. We do have the 3-inch wide tires. It says they're 80 by 65 by 6. I like this type of tread right here because there's actually more meat on this tire and less room for like thorns and glass to get into. The Arvala comes with dual shocks front and rear. That's going to provide lots of ability for you to absorb the bumps, cracks, and whatever else the road is going to throw at you. We do have a security card feature here called an NFC, where you tap a card right up on here to lock and unlock the vehicle from theft, so that nobody could just run up to your scooter and, you know, while you're in a store or something like that, just run up here and turn it on and fly away. You're going to have that TFC card that you touch on here that will unlock it to provide that for you. I currently have it disconnected for right now. I had a problem with it, and Arvala is sending me another unit here to put on here with new cards. But in the meantime, they showed me a way to bypass that by putting a pin inside here to make it all work without it. And, you know, to be honest with you, it's one less thing to have to carry, and I'd prefer not even having that TFC card. The Arvala Pro comes with headlights and tail lights. And the tail lights actually activate as well when you hit your brakes. Horn, and that sound comes actually out of this unit right here. This scooter is pretty unique too because it comes with turn signals, left and right. And of course, we'll click that off and click the other side, and turn signals on this side as well. You're going to see here, you're going to be able to customize the lights to do all kinds of different patterns. It just gives you more visibility and safety, especially at night. And you can see here how the scooter has a pretty cool lighting effect, or a chase mode, that runs along the stem and along the board as well. And there's many different type of shows that you could have. You could make it flash and strobe different ways, different colors, just using your phone app. And you can see the flashers here down below. This is what the right turn signal would look like. And on the other side, you would see what the, you know, the left turn signal would look like. Nice bright headlight. And of course your tail light. Overall, very nice lighting on this scooter. The folding feature on this bike is what I like the most about it because it takes up very little room and it's very quick to break down and put back together and throw into your vehicle. All you need to do here is unlock this by pulling up the latch, disconnecting the front, pulling the little pin down, and it just folds down. There's a little clasp right here that will lock into the bottom. And once that goes in there, you'll hear that little lock, and then you'll be able to pick it up and transport it just like that. Okay, and this thing should easily fit. Like I said, I use a little Corolla, and we're easily able to fit this and an e-bike in the back of the Corolla. And to bring it back up, simple again, just pull the latch up, pull it up to the top, lock it in. The little emergency latch will go in place, and instantly you're ready to go. Didn't take more than maybe 5 seconds to break down and break up. So let's do it again, guys. How fast does it take to bring this thing down? You pull the latch, pull this thing up, bring it down, latch goes into the hole, pull it up, and you're good to go. To set it back up again, down, latch up, smack in place, and you're ready to go. Just like that. The suspension, like I said, we have front and rear suspension on here. I better do it in motion. So you guys can see here, here's what the suspension looks like. You can customize the speeds on this to go as fast or as slow to pace the person that you're with. In eco mode on here, I have it at 6 miles an hour, and it's going to be something like this. And as you can see, I control that by this trigger right here. Brakes are controlled down here. Now I'll bump it up to the maximum speed, which is power level 5. And here's what the acceleration is like, okay? You got to really watch out with the power, guys, because of the front wheel drive. It really has a lot of torque on it, and it can start to peel out. And every time I take off, the front wheel wants to peel out. So I would suggest, if you're starting on something like this, keep it to the single motor in the back or drop it to eco mode, and don't try to overpower the bike because it does have the ability to become squirrely and throw you off of it. So I would start with eco mode or power assist level 1 and just keep it on the rear motor, and then as you feel you're balanced and you're more comfortable with it, you can start gradually bumping up your power and activating the front motor as well. So anyways, guys, enough about all the features. The bottom line is, how does this M10 Pro benefit you? How will all of these features benefit you, especially out here in terrain like this where I predominantly want to use this scooter? Will it work for you? Does this thing perform to the specs and specifications that the manufacturer says it will? We're going to go ahead and continue on and jump down and head down towards the marina. Then we're going to take a couple of spots down towards the shoreline, and we're going to try it on different terrains, and I'm going to go ahead and see just how good this thing performs. So let's hit it. Now, what I do highly suggest is that if you are going to be riding one of these scooters are not as stable as e-bikes. And it's going to take you a little bit of time to learn your body positioning and how to utilize and shift your weight. So most definitely, this is going to be a helmet and gloves. As much protection as you can possibly have. Wear gloves, man, because the first thing that's going to happen when you fall down is your hands are going to go out in front of you. And if you don't have any gloves on, you're going to become a road crayon. So safety first, guys. Helmets and gloves minimum. Man, take a look at this big old houseboat up here. Wow. They pulled this out of Lake Mead. Now just have a look at that. The boat is called Barely Legal. And it looks like it's been in the water a long time. And guys, although this is not officially a Lake Mead water report, I'm always going to give it to you. So the water level today at Lake Mead is 1,076.55 feet. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and be leaving the Hemingway boat ramp right here. We're going to be going up the ramp, corrugated pavement here. It's about maybe 5% grade. And we're going to be heading up here with me, 215 pounds. And we're going to see the kind of performance that we get from the Arvala M10 Pro. Let's go. Doing about 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32. Yeah, we're holding at about 32 going up this grade right here, guys. And this is the whole purpose of making sure that when you select a scooter, you want to get one that is capable of handling, you know, terrain, all terrains, anything that you throw at it. It's got to be capable of getting you there safely. You don't want to get one of those rental type, personal type scooters, because that's not going to have enough power to go up and down this type of a grade. So we're going to go back for Maria. As you can see, her bike can only do 28 miles per hour max, but I'm sure she's not trying to race me. But as you can see, this scooter is fast enough to handle this grade. How fast were you going?
Well, I put it at 5.
Okay, and are you hitting throttle? Throttle. Hey, there's your throttle. Now the braking on this is a little weird, man. I gotta say, the braking is good, and it has what's called EABS, which I'm not, you know, I don't know everything about what that means, but it sounds like electronic ABS system. And at first, it was entirely too strong. And the thing that was crazy about it is that as I would go to hit my brake, normally I could feather the brake, right? Because you don't want to just grab too much front brake and fly over the front. But it tends to over brake, which is like as I hit the brake, even though I try to feather it, the EABS wants to give me more brake, or it wants to engage, and I have to end up pulling my weight back so that all my weight doesn't want to sail over the front. I would suggest that if you guys go into the app, adjust your braking system to intensity level 1 and go from there, because anything more than that, if you don't know how to adjust your weight, you might end up falling off this thing. So anyways, we're heading down now towards, we're going to go towards Boulder Beach in the campground, and we're going to be taking this little roadway right here from Hemingway Harbor. And like I said, guys, look, you see the side of this road here has all this gravel, and if your tires are too teeny, you're not going to be able to navigate this, and you're going to worry about getting all kinds of flats and stuff. But I'm not worried about that on this one right here. I feel very confident that these tires are going to be good enough to handle this type of pavement. And like over here onto the right, you can take off down this dirt road and it'll take you down to the fishing pier. Once again, can this Arvala take that? Yes, it can, because of the tires and the suspension. But we're going to stick along this roadway here right around the lake using this little utility road that runs along the side of the shoreline. But take a look at this, guys. If you have this type of a scooter or e-bike, it's up to you. If you'd like to go and take this little gravel trail and head down this way, or if you want to go straight, or if you want to head down that way, wherever you could see a path, either it's going to be paved or it's going to be a walking path, or you just create your own. As long as you've got good suspension, good power, and decent tires, you're going to be able to jump on these things here and have a wonderful adventure. You know, trailblazing is what Maria and I call it. Trailblazing is just venturing off to find discoveries along the shoreline. And this is always the reason, a long, long time ago, I spoke with one of my friends, Remote Trooper, if you watch his channel, and I always said that I wanted to come out here to Lake Mead, but I wanted to be able to scour the shoreline on an e-bike or an e-scooter, and today I am fortunate enough to be able to do just that. So here we are, guys, at the entrance of Boulder Beach. All right, guys, we're gonna be heading now from Boulder Beach. We're gonna shoot up towards the barbecue pits and the campground, and another uphill grade. So let's jump on the M10 and see what we got. Let's do it. Did you hear that little peel out, man? Now, we could just cut on through the desert over here if we wanted to, but we have infrastructure out here. Take a look, left and right. Here we go back to the paved roads again for scooters and bike paths. And if you didn't know coming out to Lake Mead that this is out here, you would never know if you were in a car. But if you got your, electric scooter or e-bike, you can come out here, man, and enjoy these views. And let me tell you, look at, I don't know if you can see it right here because this camera really can't pan. But to your right, man, we have these majestic mountains that are just beautiful sunshine. 76 degrees today, and beautiful campground on our left-hand side here. And just look at this beautiful infrastructure. Let's go ahead and take the scooter down through the amphitheater, which is going to be kind of cool. I don't know if you guys have ever been down through here. Man, this is just so enjoyable, guys. I've walked this, man. I'd be dead tired, but right now, man, we've gone all this way. We're just rolling through the amphitheater out here at Lake Mead. Just take a look at this, guys. We have fire pits, right? We got this really cool little view, and we have these fire pits out here. You can come out here in the evening and set up your fire pits and enjoy this beautiful backdrop. Alrighty, guys, so according to the app here, we still have 70% power, and it says that we've already run close to 12 miles on this, 70%. And if I take a look at batteries, it shows all of the batteries are 100% still in the green at 70%. Now, it's hard to get any kind of reading. During the day, it's hard to see. If there's one thing that I gotta say, the display right here is very difficult to see. It's a lot easier to see it on the app. You know, you can get the same information on the app, but according to the gauge right here, if I hit the mode says that we've been on the bike 53.90 minutes, and that the battery percentage showing 70%, and the voltage is 53.90 volts, 53.9 volts. Alrighty, guys, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the pros and cons that I've experienced with this scooter so far in the time that I've reviewed it. The pro that I like about it is the weight. The balance and the weight of this thing is right around, I think around 60 to 62 pounds, and it just balanced correctly where I can fold it up and throw it into a car, and it really doesn't feel like there was any pressure or any problems with me to move it around. So the weight and balance on it is a definite pro. Number two is gonna be the deck build and length, okay? The deck build right here, it's got this like this rubberized coating on here that, I mean, you know, my other one that I have, my other scooter that I have, it has like a skateboard kind of sandpaper face on there, and It just, it's hard to clean, and no matter what, it just has that really scratch. If you try to rub a cloth on it to clean it, it just shreds the cloth, and it's just very hard to clean. This has got very good grip, easy to clean, and I like the length of it. The length of this board right here is long enough for me to be able to put my foot in different variations, and the rake of the back step here for stability makes it a very comfortable ride. So the deck build and the length is another pro. The next pro that I have on here is the torque and power. As you can see right there, 1,000 watts. Man, these motors are absolutely phenomenal. I can't even believe that this thing has this kind of power and torque to just take me anywhere. And I feel so confidence inspired when I ride it. I don't have to worry about going up a hill, up a dirt path, down a dirt path. I just know that if I need it, I can pull that trigger and this thing is going to take me. And like I said, it can support 256 pounds, and it handles my weight of over 200 pounds. So if you're a heavier guy and you are going to want to buy a scooter like this M10 Pro here can definitely sustain your weight if you're a 200-pound rider. So torque and power, another pro. Another thing that I like about this is the trigger throttle. The trigger throttle, guys, most of these things have a thumb throttle, which I don't mind. It could have had a thumb throttle, but I've never had a trigger throttle. Trigger throttle is pretty awesome, man, because it just feels natural. Now, I did have to adjust these controls. As you can see how it's sloped and angled? From this position right here, you're like, oh man, how come this thing is like angled down? That looks lame. Well, when I got it out of the box, these controls were kind of straight, but me being a 6-foot tall rider, it felt like my hands were kind of like this, and that just gave me wrist fatigue. So what I did is I went up here and I just undid these little teeny Allen bolts, and I was able to slide the controls to the angle that I like. So now that when I'm up on the bike, my hands are like resting on the down, and it just gives me that nice feel. And you can customize your controls by just loosening these things up and moving them into the right position that makes you feel comfortable. And the trigger throttle right here, guys, absolutely perfect. Sometimes if I'm just too comfortable, I'm not paying attention, I think that's the brake and I hit it and I take off. Or I'm down here and I'm thinking that this is the throttle and I hit this and I over brake. So you kind of got to pay attention between the two, because sometimes you get a brain fog and you lose track of which one's what. So that's the only thing that I have that you guys need to watch out for here, guys. Remember, throttle brake, sometimes you're riding it, you got a brain fog, you twist it around, you're thinking throttle brake, and you know that could be a catastrophe. Now for the cons. What are some of the cons of this? Well, there are a few, guys, and they're not necessarily cons that can't be fixed, just little quirks for me. Maybe they don't bother you as much, but for me, they're just things that could have been better. And starting off, number one is going to be, like I said, the brakes. When I go to hit the brakes, guys, the brakes are so good, and it's got that EABS system that I don't know if it's starting to regen, but I feel like it over brakes and it doesn't want to let go. Okay, so I feel like I cannot feather the brakes. Like if you're riding a motorcycle, you know that you need to learn how to feather the brakes so that you don't lock them up. And I just kind of feel with the EABS, until you get into the application on the phone and adjust it and bring it down to 1, I wish I could just turn it off, but 1 is the very lowest. You're gonna feel an extra pressure of brakes, like it doesn't want to let go. Once you engage it, it just wants to clamp on a little bit more than what you gave it. And it's kind of a quirk that you want to be able to work yourself into using correctly. And the only way that I can compensate it for it now is that when I go to brake, I have to make sure that my body position, I lean back a little bit and then hit the brake, because I know it's going to want to throw my weight forward. So the brake is number one. Number two is going to be no handles. Now, when you go to lift this, it's hard to lift this and move it around because there's no back area to lift the bike up. And I feel like back here, when I go to lift the bike, I have to lift it from this light. Now, I know the light is attached to the bracket, but it would have just been better if there was some sort of a handle that you could lift it with here on the back to lift it up. And then also on the front would be a nice thing to have a little handle here to lift it up, because you don't want to have to always unfold unlock the handle to fold it down just to move it around, because sometimes all you need to do is to flip the back end around and you're just going to grab the handlebar and you just need something to grab, but there's nowhere to grab back here. And like I said, this is electrical and plastic, and I just don't like to grab it from right here. If there was a handle, that would be perfect. And the next thing too, guys, is gonna be this latch right here. The latch should have some sort of a carabiner lock system, right? Like a little spring lock that will keep this thing in place, because when you bring this thing down, even though it comes down through here and locks through the hole, sometimes when you go to put it in a car or something like that and you move the handles, that latch pops out of this hole here, and the whole bottom of the scooter can come crashing down on your legs. And it's just a lot better to have that latch go in there with the carabiner clip to guarantee that it's locked in, and when you go to unlock it, you push in the carabiner clip and then pull the hook out, and that would guarantee that this thing is not going to go falling and crashing on your leg if it happens to accidentally make that little teeny hook come out of this little hole right here. So that one little addition would be a lot better for safety. The next thing, guys, I have here is the cabling down here in the bottom. As you can see here, we've got a long cable here that's running to the right, and we have another cable here that's running to the left. Now, this cable situation right here, when you're turning it to the right, you have slack. But when you're turning it to the left, it gets really tight, man, really tight. And I had a situation when I first got it that the lights, right, we have these lighting here that lights along the side. If I kept the bike straight or turned it to the left, all the lights would stay working. But when I went to turn it to the right, they would all shut off. And inside the cable management system here for the lights is a thin little ribbon. And that ribbon I just felt was being overstretched. So I had to reposition it and wrap it to where it did not lose its power or connectivity. But I believe it's because, like I said, right here, man, you have that really tight cabling right here, which they could have given you just a little bit more slack inside here so it doesn't pinch. So I just felt that that's something that could be easily corrected by just giving you a little bit more slack. The next issue that I had here was with the NFC card. I mean, you know, 3 or 4 days into me owning this thing here, the NFC card, which is your security card that you tap on here, what that does is it prevents somebody from just running over here and starting your scooter up with power and taking off. That thing just stopped working, and I just couldn't figure out for the likes of me how to get the bike to turn on. And I was like, oh my God, why can't I just not put a key in it and turn it on and go? No, I had to go through, you know, the application wasn't trying to connect, and the NFC card wasn't trying to connect, and it was just really all confusing. And yeah, I just, you know, looked on the internet, and I was like, how do I figure this thing out? Why is the bike not turning on? And it's because this thing went defective, and I contacted the company, which they said they'll send me another one out. And it's just something simple as to put it back on here, and they're going to give you 2 new keys, and then you just plug it right in. But I had to just unplug it and put a jumper pin in between here and just seal it up. And by doing that, it just bypassed the security and allows the bike to start up. So that was just one thing. I don't know, it's just one extra thing you got to carry. Some of you might see that as a benefit. I don't know, if I don't have to carry it, great. I'd rather just have a little key, you know, myself. It would be great. But, you know, the more electronics you have, the more things that can break. And that's just one thing that I kind of feel like they could alleviate. All right, everybody, that's everything that we have today. And we just want to say thank you so much for coming out to Lake Mead here as we do a review on the Arvala M10 Pro. We hope that you got some benefit out of this video, and it encouraged you to come out here and you know, enjoy the scenery, the lake, wherever you are. If you have infrastructure around your neighborhood, your parks, your lakes, wherever you're at, and you don't have the energy to come out and do it, you know, manually, hey guys, you know, grab one of these e-bikes, e-scooters. I will be planning to use this for many, many more days for the rest of this summer. So anything you got to say, babe? How was your day? Did you have fun?
Oh yeah, definitely having fun with the e-scooter and e-bike adventure today.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to say thank you folks for coming with us.
Always thank you so much for coming out with us, and we hope you guys enjoyed the scenery of Lake Mead as we review the Arvala M10 Pro. If you like the Arvala and you need more specs and features or updates on this bike here to see if it's a better fit for you, a link to the description will be down in the description box below. Run over there, take a look at it and see if it's a fit, something that you might like, and if not, then I have another review for you guys coming out again next week. You guys be well. Thank you so much again for coming out. It's Joey and Maria out here at Lake Mead at the Visitor Center up at the top of the entrance of Lake Mead. We will catch you guys in the next video. You guys be well. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.